Welcome back to the deep dive, where we take that huge pile of info and, boil it down to the essential knowledge nuggets just for you. Today, we are strapping into, well, maybe the virtual driver's seat of this really high-tech family hauler that's definitely making waves in the three-row SUV world, the 2026 Hyundai Palisade. Okay, so our mission today, pretty simple. We want to cut through all the marketing fluff and really unpack the hard specs, the actual luxury features, and where this thing stacks up against the competition. If you're trying to figure out your next family vehicle and need that blend of space, comfort, and tech, but don't want to get overwhelmed, this deep dive is going to get you totally up to speed.
And you kind of need that shortcut, right?
Yeah.
Because Hyundai is positioning this Palisade really aggressively. It's not just another big SUV. They're talking majestic design, real sophistication. It's meant to be a direct challenge to what we think of as affordable luxury. So it's going right up against the big names, the Kia Telluride, Honda Pilot, the Toyota Grand Highlander. The real question for you listening is, does this new generation actually pull off that luxury feel without the luxury price tag? Let's find out.
All right, let's start with just, how it looks, the presence. Sources definitely highlight that imposing exterior. It's got that wide, kind of blocky look. Big front grille, those distinctive full LED lights. It's not subtle.
No, it makes a statement outside for sure.
Yeah.
But honestly, for families, it's what's inside that usually seals the deal. And the interior seems to be all about space and, well, surprisingly nice materials. We're talking like premium soft plastics,
Yeah.
actual Napa leather available on higher trims, and just modern quality finishes all around. And yeah, it seats up to 8 people, 3 rows.
8 people. Okay, so flexibility inside must be key then.
It really is. So you get the standard 3-row bench seating, right? That gets you the full 8 seats. But you can also go for these really nice captain's chairs in the second row. Makes it feel more upscale, maybe a bit easier to get to the back. Now, we got to be real here, and the sources point this out. That third row, it's fine, for the class, but maybe better for kids or teenagers on longer trips. Adults back there for hours. Might get a little cramped. Fine for short hops, though.
Okay, appreciate the reality check. So space is there, materials seem good. What about actual comfort, like heated seats, ventilated seats, that kind of stuff for long drives?
Oh, yeah. They definitely focused on that. Depending on the trim level you pick, you can get heating and ventilation for the front and second row seats. And importantly, this is paired with what sounds like a pretty comfortable suspension setup. The goal seems to be a smooth, quiet ride, especially for those marathon family road trips. Less fatigue for everyone.
Okay, cool. Let's shift gears then. The tech. This feels like where the Palisade is really trying to stand out. I mean, a modern family SUV basically has to be a rolling command center, right?
Absolutely. And Hyundai seems to have put a stunner right in the dashboard. Visually, it's dominated by this dual curved screen setup. Honestly, it looks like something you'd find in a much pricier German car. We're talking 2 big 12.3-inch digital screens. One's your customizable gauge cluster, the other handles all the navigation and infotainment stuff.
And crucially, seamless phone connection, right? Sources confirmed wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto as standard. That's huge.
Yes, standard wireless, finally. No more messing with cables sliding under the seat. It's a major quality of life improvement. And they didn't cheap out on the sound system either. There's an available upgrade to a 14-speaker Bose surround system. And it's not just about throwing more speakers in. It uses tech like Centerpoint and SoundTrue. Basically, fancy processing to create a richer, more immersive soundstage. So even if you're stuck in the third row, the music should sound pretty great.
Okay, beyond the big screens and the good audio, I saw something in the sources that really jumped out at me, addressing maybe the biggest family tech headache: charging power. They specifically mention 100-watt USB-C ports. Why is that specific number such a big deal?
Okay, this is probably the most forward-thinking feature they've included. It's actually quite surprising. See, most car USB ports give you maybe 5–10 watts, enough to slowly charge a phone. But 100 watts, that's laptop charging power. You can run multiple tablets, power small gadgets. And these powerful USB-C ports are available in every single row. Think about it. No more fighting over the one fast charger in the car. As a parent, that's kind of priceless.
Wow, okay. That feature alone might be a massive selling point for some families. What else in terms of like utility or communication tech?
They've packed in a lot there, too. You get a built-in Wi-Fi hotspot, Alexa voice assistant support, standard stuff nowadays, but useful. But then there are these clever family-focused features. Passenger talk is basically an intercom. Driver can talk to the third row without yelling. Brilliant. And even better, maybe, is rear seat quiet mode. It focuses the audio just on the front speakers. So kids can finally sleep in the back while you finish listening to this deep dive, perhaps.
Huh. Love that. And the final piece of digital magic, Digital Key 2.0 Premium.
Right. So this lets you use your smartphone or even your smartwatch as your car key. Lock,
Nice.
unlock, start the engine, all without the physical fob. Super handy for carpooling, maybe letting a family member borrow the car easily. Plus, they've added Hyundai Pay for secure payments from inside the car. It really is a sophisticated, almost luxury-level tech package in a family hauler.
Okay, so we've covered the fancy interior and the gadgets. Let's talk about what makes it go. The performance. Driving this big thing, hauling potentially 8 people plus luggage.
Yeah.
What's under the hood?
So the standard engine is a pretty familiar, proven V6. It's a 3.5-liter naturally aspirated unit. Puts out a solid 287 horsepower and 260 pound-feet of torque. That's connected to a smooth 8-speed automatic transmission across the board. And you can choose between front-wheel drive or Hyundai's all-wheel drive system, which they call HDRAC.
HDRC, that's their smart AWD system, right? Shifts power around based on conditions.
Exactly. It monitors grip and sends power to the front or rear wheels as needed to maximize traction. Good for, wet roads, maybe some light snow. Gives you confidence. Now, performance. Let's talk trade-offs. Sources estimate the 0 to 60 mile-per-hour time is around 6.6 seconds, which is, perfectly fine for getting onto the highway, but it is reportedly a bit slower than some rivals, especially those with turbos or powerful hybrid systems.
Okay, let's dig into that V6 choice a bit. Is it actually a downside that it's naturally aspirated instead of having a turbo?
Well, not necessarily a downside, depends what you want. The V6 delivers power very smoothly, very predictably. You don't get that sudden kick or lag sometimes associated with smaller turbo engines. For family duty like towing a small trailer or just smoothly accelerating with a full car, that linear, predictable power can actually feel better, more controlled than a jumpy turbo. So it's kind of smoothness over outright punchiness.
Gotcha. And I saw mention of an XRT Pro trim. Who's that aimed at? Is it actually for off-roading or more just rugged looks?
It's more for, let's say, the light adventurer. The XRT Pro comes standard with that HDRAC all-wheel drive, and it gets an extra inch of ground clearance. So no, you're not going to be rock crawling in Moab with it. But for getting down rougher dirt roads to a campsite or handling unpaved trails, it adds some real capability. It's functional, not just stickers and plastic cladding, but it doesn't totally compromise the everyday comfortable ride either.
Okay, so the V6 offers smooth power, but we have to address the main drawback that came up in multiple sources, fuel economy.
Yeah, this is kind of the price you pay for that big, naturally aspirated V6. The estimated combined fuel consumption is around 10.7 liters per 100 kilometers. And that is noticeably higher than hybrid competitors like the Toyota Grand Highlander or even the turbocharged Mazda CX-90. For families driving a lot of miles, that difference in fuel cost adds up over the year. It's definitely something you need to factor in.
Right. Let's circle back to ride comfort for a sec. You mentioned the top trim, the calligraphy, has some kind of fancy suspension. Electronically adjustable. How does that change the feel?
Ah, yes. That's a key differentiator for the calligraphy trim.
Yeah.
The electronically adjustable suspension basically reads the road conditions in real time and adjusts the shock absorbers to dampening. What that means for you is it smooths out smaller bumps even more effectively, keeps the vehicle flatter when cornering less body roll, and cuts down on road noise. It really elevates the ride quality closer to what you'd expect in a true luxury SUV. Makes it feel very serene.
And, okay, the ultimate family test. Cargo space. Forget the fancy suspension for a moment. Can it actually haul all the stuff families need? Give us the numbers.
The numbers are definitely impressive and practical. So even with all 3 rows of seats up full of people, you still get 19.1 cubic feet behind that third row. That's enough for, say, a few carry-on bags or a big stroller. Pretty usable. Fold that third row flat and it jumps up to 46.3 cubic feet. Massive. And if you need maximum hauling capacity, fold down both the second and third rows, and you're looking at a huge 86.7 cubic feet. That's genuinely cavernous space for, trips to the hardware store or moving kids to college.
Okay, let's make the turn towards the finish line here. Safety, absolutely non-negotiable for a family vehicle, and then the bottom line, value and competition. So, starting with safety ratings, how well does it protect everyone inside?
Protection looks top tier based on the testing. The Palisade earned an IIHS top safety pick rating. That's a high bar. And from the NHTSA, the U.S. government agency, it got a 5-star overall crash test rating, which is the best you can get.
Okay, 5 stars overall is great, but I did see a note in the sources, a bit of nuance. NHTSA gave it 4 stars specifically for rollover risk, even with the 5-star overall. Can you explain that? Why the difference?
Yeah, that's a really good point to bring up for, the full picture. When NHTSA tests rollover risk, it's specifically measuring how likely the vehicle is to tip over in a single vehicle loss of control kind of crash. Big, tall vehicles like SUVs, just because of their higher center of gravity, are inherently a bit more prone to rolling over than, say, a low sedan. So that four-star rollover rating is actually pretty common for SUVs in this large size class. Doesn't mean it's unsafe in a crash. The five-star overall confirms excellent crash protection. It's more about the physics of tall vehicles.
Okay, thanks for clarifying that. That makes sense. So beyond the crash structure, what about the standard safety tech, the stuff that helps you avoid the crash?
It's got a really comprehensive suite. Standard. Starts with 10 airbags covering all 3 rows. That's great peace of mind. Then you get all the modern driver assist features. Automatic emergency braking that can detect pedestrians, lane keeping assist to help you stay centered, blind spot monitoring, smart cruise control. Plus some clever extras like safe exit warning warns you if you're about to open your door into traffic. And a direct driver monitoring system to check if the driver's getting drowsy. That's a solid package.
All right, now the big picture, competition. We mentioned Telluride, Grand Highlander. How do the critics, like the big car magazines, see the Palisade fitting into this really tough segment?
Yeah, it's an incredibly competitive field. You've also got the Honda Pilot, the Mazda CX-90, even the Jeep Grand Cherokee L in the mix. Reviews from places like Car and Driver, Motor Trend, they consistently praise the Palisade, usually for its really upscale design, both inside and out, that packed technology suite we talked about, and just the overall value you get for the money. But if you boil down the common criticisms, the drawbacks mentioned most often. Number one is definitely that fuel consumption from the V6. It lags behind hybrids. Number two, just its sheer size. Great for passengers and cargo, but, can be a handful maneuvering in tight city streets or parking garages. And number three, some reviewers noted a little more road noise creeping in at highway speeds compared to maybe the absolute quietest vehicles in the class. Manageable, but noticeable to some.
Okay, so it's big, techy, maybe a bit thirsty, but looks great and feels premium. What's the actual cost? What's the price range we're looking at?
Well, despite feeling quite premium inside, the pricing is still pretty aggressive, very competitive. The base SE trim starts around $40,430. Then the price climbs up through the different trim levels, topping out with that luxurious calligraphy trim at $55,555.
Okay, that $55,000 figure for the calligraphy, that's bumping up against actual luxury brand territory, isn't it? Like Acura, maybe even entry-level Volvo. Is it truly competitive at that price?
That's the fascinating question, isn't it? The calligraphy trim with the fancy suspension, the Napa leather, those huge screens, it absolutely feels luxurious inside. But strategically, it's still priced noticeably below similarly equipped models from dedicated luxury brands. You're getting maybe, say, 90% of the luxury experience for potentially 65–70% of the price of a comparable Acura MDX or something.
Yeah.
So the value argument is still really, really strong, especially when you factor in unique stuff like that standard 100W charging in every row. Luxury brands don't even offer that yet.
That really puts it in perspective. Okay, so summing up this deep dive, the 2026 Palisade looks like a really strong player. It offers huge space, a serious dose of genuinely useful tech, top safety scores. It really makes a compelling case for families wanting that premium feel without the full premium price hit.
Yeah, and if we bring it back to you, the listener, trying to figure this market out, the Palisade seems to be hitting a sweet spot by prioritizing that accessible luxury and tech. You're getting features like the wireless CarPlay, the great Bose system, those game-changing 100W USB ports, things rivals either charge a lot extra for or just don't have yet. And this leads to, I think, the final provocative thought here, something that really defines this segment in 2026. The Palisade basically asks you, are you willing to accept slightly higher fuel consumption in return for dominant space and cutting-edge technology? Is having that seamless wireless phone integration, the digital key, the ability to charge everyone's devices super fast, has that become more important to the average family buyer than squeezing out every last mile per gallon or having the absolute fastest acceleration? Judging by the Palisade's popularity, the market seems to be saying increasingly, yeah, maybe features and accessible luxury are leaning out. It's a definite shift.